Hi, recently on my channel we had a live stream of 1 Minute Debunks. Submissions from people, creators, experienced and novice alike. Today we're going to show them all back to back. Don't forget to check the links to the various channels below. Maybe you can give them a few likes and a subscribe or two. That will be appreciated, I'm sure. So without further ado, here we go.
Roll VT.
So, what is it about love, life, and respect? Why do they think it is what makes sunrise and sunset? As things on top get far away, they seem to move down. As things on the bottom get far away, they seem to move up. Let's take a look at this with the help of my sister. Say hello to Robson. Now say hello to Robson's home Catilda at the line to mark their heads. Catilda will now go away in sound speed. You should see. Let's zoom in and power up. Catilda is stating on the horizon. How would they say? Zooming in on Catilda is not proof of a flat air. No, it's proof of low air. Of course, it's a respective choice. Because sunset.
BryanPopRobson with a quick 1 minute debunk. This bag swinging on a cart on the moon is used by Apollo deniers to say that it was swinging in an air current in the Earth on its studio. Well, actually, it was proves that it was swinging on the moon. Well, the thing is, we know the gravitational constant for the Earth and the moon, and pendulums have a very simple formula. We also know the length of the bag from the statistics in the ALSJ. So, by using substitution, we can see which one's closest. So basically that bag swings 19 times in 52 seconds, which gives us a period of 2.74 seconds. So if we substitute that on as if it was on the moon and use the gravitational constant for the moon, let's see what it comes out to with experimental error. Well, it should have swung 2.612 seconds, which is well within the bounds of experimental error. If we substitute in the Earth, basically it comes nowhere near, which proves that once and for all that it was on the moon.
Greetings and salutations, this is Huge Ass. Is Prince Charles a vampire? Like most of the royal families of Europe, he's related to Vlad IV of Romania, otherwise known as Count Dracul. He was also known as Vlad the Impaler because of all the gory ways that he would dispose of his enemies. As a result, he became the inspiration for the legends of Dracula, blah blah.
I do not say blah blah blah.
So in other words, vampires don't real. They're just a fictional story. So is there any evidence that Prince Charles is a vampire? Well, he has done promotions for the Romanian Tourist Board and they wanted to make him the honorary Prince of Transylvania. Now while many may want Prince Charles to be a vampire, here's proof positive that he's not. Cue the corgi.
Have you ever wondered why your ears pop when travelling downhill? It's due to a difference in pressure. Think of pressure as a weight of air above, pressing down on everything below. On a mountaintop, there is less air pressure above. Climb down and the pressure increases. Now there's more above your head. Our ears have to equalise this pressure either naturally or we do so by swallowing hard or chewing gum. So why is there more pressure closer to the ground? Gravity. Gravity attracts everything towards the centre of the Earth. It is stronger near the planet's surface, where the pressure of sea level is 14.7 psi. Mount Everest is only 4.84 psi. This is proof of atmospheric pressure gradient. There is no sealed dome over a flat pancake map containing equal air pressure. The floating sun would have burnt a circular hole in the dome material, and everyone would have been sucked out into the vacuum of fake space. Trust your ears, not the flirt talking out of their...
Saturn's rings are unstable. Saturn's rings are actually dispersing right now as we speak, and before long, those rings will be completely gone. Now, if Saturn, the planet, and the rings around it were 4.5 billion years old, those rings would have completely dispersed and deteriorated by now. But they're still there, which means that they were created recently, not billions of years ago.
By lumping the planet in with the rings, you're either being stupid or trying to pull a fast one on your audience. Not fast enough, Matt. FE Peer Review says you don't get to have it both ways. You use some reference for Saturn's, quote, young rings, but don't cite it. The references I find put the age of the rings at between 10 and 100 million years, with their dispersal happening over some hundreds of millions of years. No matter how you cut it, even 10 million years ago for the rings does not fit your young Earth fantasies. Now go sit in the corner and face the wall until you're ready to be an honest boy.
Hello and welcome to this video. Science is an obvious conspiracy by these guys. You will soon find I have undeniable proof. Because why else is the speed of sound 666 half-meters per second? Quite undeniable proof, sure indeed. And just one more thing. Warning! Warning! 10,000% irony! Warning! Warning! 10,000% irony!
Hello, Mr. Sensible. Star Trails disprove flat Earth. Find out your latitude. I'm at the latitude 39 degrees. So when I look at Polaris, it's 39 degrees from horizon. Get yourself a disco ball. Point your disco ball at the ceiling. Get yourself a level up on a tripod. Set your tripod to the angle corresponding to your latitude. Learn how to use the camera. Learn how to capture star trails. Look at the ceiling and find out the spot around which all other points rotate. That will be your Polaris. Point your camera to the point at the angle corresponding to your latitude. The point of rotation will be right in the middle of your screen. Make a time-lapse. Stop the rotation on your disco ball and rotate your camera on the tripod hinge instead. Compare your time-lapses. What shapes have you got? When the disco ball was rotating and your camera was stationary, you will get ellipses. When you rotate the camera and your disco ball was not moving, you will get circles. Now let's go outside and create the real time-lapse. What shapes will we get?
G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, my old mate Dr. Bob, he's just dropped a nice little video and it's smacking Mitchell around rather a lot.
There's no other possibility other than those two. So which one are you? Are you stupid or are you a fraud, Mitchell?
Which I kind of enjoyed. Now I don't have to. But I think what you need to do now is follow the link up here and go and watch it.
Officer Darwin, just one more thing, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant.
I hate to bother you.
Well, I do think Dr. Bob the Science Guy has actually committed a false dichotomy fallacy right here. He makes the premise that Mitchell has to be either stupid or a fraud. But, as one of my good viewers pointed out, clearly the third option is he is actually both.
I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much.
Hello there, dear viewer, and my 1 Minute Debunk features Matt Powell,
Official,
and his ludicrous claim that evolution teaches that dinosaurs farted themselves into extinction. Yes, young Earth creationist and monstrous gimboid Matt Powell,
Official,
truly believes that dinosaurs gassed themselves into extinction because he saw this and didn't bother to read the rest of the paper. So let's do the reading for him, shall we? Mesozoic sauropods, like many modern herbivores, are likely to have hosted microbial methogenic symbionts for the fermentative digestion of their plant food. Today, methane from livestock is a significant component of global methane budgets. Sauropod methane emission will probably have also been considerable. Here we use a simple quantitative approach to estimate the magnitude of such methane production and show that the production of the greenhouse gas methane by sauropods could have been an important factor in warm Mesozoic climates. Yes! So, nowhere does it say that dinosaurs gas themselves into extinction.
The Gleason map disproves flat earthers without them even knowing. We physically measured the distance from the North Pole to the equator. That would be our radius on a flat earth and would be about 10,002 kilometers long. That gives us a circumference of 62,844 kilometers at the equator, which is already a problem, but let's keep going and just assume everything we knew was wrong. We know how long the segments of the equator are that run through Africa and South America, which are around 3,734 kilometers and 3,375 kilometers respectively. If you take their length and divide them by the length of the whole equator, you get the percentage that is over that continent. Take any picture of the Gleason map, find the length of its equator in centimeters, and then multiply it by the percentages you get. These lengths of the continents will match the globe values every time, not the flat Earth ones, which would be much smaller. The same goes for the Tropic of Capricorn, which on a flat Earth would have a length of about 79,137 kilometers. The lengths of the arcs through Australia, Africa, and South America match up perfectly to a globe yet again. There's a lot more to get into with this, but essentially they need to make a new map and stop using the Gleason projection.
Just wanted to show you this. I just really noticed it today, and I'm holding my phone, my camera of my phone, at my eye level. Now check out that red line at the bottom of this glass. The bottom of the glass, the vase. The bottom of the vase is right there. Now check that out. See that red line? That is a deck that is beyond my eyesight, that is being built behind my apartment. Check out that looming. Kind of like the black swan image, don't you think? Yeah, I would say there's refraction going on right there.
One of the easiest flat Earth assertions to debunk in 60 seconds or less is the idea that somehow the atmosphere as described cannot happen because of the second law of thermodynamics. How do you debunk this? Just simply look up what thermodynamics is. Okay? Thermo, heat, dynamics, movement. The movement of heat. It has nothing to do with anything. Yes, it is true there is a statement of order. Go look up what entropy is. It's kind of fun. You'll see that it has nothing to do with this. But when you talk about solids, there is an order to solids. You look at liquids, there's a little bit of order that applies there as well. Gases, you can forget about it. Yes, we have diatomic gases, but it absolutely has nothing to do with it. You might as well tell me how many angels have to dance on the head of a pin. It's completely irrelevant. That's how you debunk it.
Odalis' Journal, Day 8062 of the Ice Wall Expedition. It has been almost 2.5 decades since Dookie and I first set foot on this god-forsaken frozen wasteland, leaving loved ones long behind in both time and distance. Only warm memories of them sustain me through this bitter cold. We have trekked countless miles in every direction, but alas, still no sign of the wall, though strangely we are confronted by large bodies of water which we can find no way around. Sadly, I fear the isolation has taken its toll on my companion, and cabin fever has set in. He insists we are merely on a continent surrounded by an ocean. I must persevere through his lunacy and find the ice wall to reveal the truth to the world. A noble cause that I'm willing to sacrifice the rest of our lives in order to discover.
Debunk of rotating dome local stars and constellations. If the stars are local and fixed on the rotating dome, the constellations and the distances between the stars would also change as they get closer or further away. Just like the headlights of the cars in the night, as they get closer or farther away, the distance between the lights would get bigger or smaller respectively. It is easy to check. Grab a ruler at the distance of your fully stretched arms and measure the distances between the brightest stars. Do the distances between them change through the night? If not, they are definitely not local, but very far away. We know it doesn't change though. Astronomers use a technique called plate solving based solely on known fixed distances between the stars. It helps to locate, align your telescope precisely, and to point at the target you want to photograph. The only variables are the telescope's focal length and camera sensor pixel size to get it right, although it greatly helps to set the date and your location. The stars are definitely not local, and Earth definitely isn't flat under a giant dome. Grow up, flirs.
Flat earthers think a compass can only work on a flat earth with the needle staying flat. In reality, a compass needle aligns itself within the magnetic field, and the field is shaped like this. Fortunately, we can physically test the shape of the magnetic field by doing tests with iron filings or needles, like these examples shown here. When we do these tests, we can see the way that needles continually align themselves within the field, following its spherical shape. Much like the noble Edam, the surface of a globe complements this shape, so when moving across the surface, a compass needle will always be aligned perpendicular to the local vertical, with some dip at the poles. However, on a flat earth, the surface will cut through the magnetic field instead of following it. As a result, the compass needle would try to align itself vertically instead of horizontally, and this will cause errors with readings. You can test the shape of the earth with something as simple as a compass and prove to yourself that it is not flat.
If you go to south latitude 57.23, the star Gakrax from the Southern Cross will pass overhead every day. 12 hours later, after its overhead passing, it will be at its lowest point in the sky for that location. Using logic, or call it math if you will, it will have an elevation angle of 24.46 degrees at that point in time. And the distance to its GP will be 3,932 nautical miles, actual distance to cross to reach the GP. When we move towards a star GP, all the stars and celestial positions that were above and in front of us will be above and behind of us. So, by the time we reach the Gakrax GP and reaching 57.23 south latitude again, the SCP will be behind us, aka we're looking north. Polar circumnavigation proven by celestial navigation, and that proves the globe, thanks to the year of the sextant.
If we truly are living on a stationary horizontal plane, are we entitled to air miles? If the distant horizon truly looks flat, can we check it with a flat Earth ruler? There is a popular myth being taught today that the spherical Earth is CGI, contained gravity infrastructure. If we truly cannot see the distant shoreline, something must be obscuring our view. The level-headed, heliocentric public would have you believe we truly are rounds the bend. If the Earth truly is flat, this sure doesn't prove it.
As we all know, it's the year of the sextant. My Australian friend was kind enough to share this deep correction table from a nautical almanac. Let's have some fun and plot the lines of sight. At a height of 0 feet, the angle to the horizon is 0. That is, if you dip your eyes into the water, the horizon rises to the eye level. That's where the term deep correction comes from. Between 0 and 2 feet, it's 1 minute of angle. Between 2 and 6, 2 minutes, and so on. Between this and this, 50 minutes. Let's shrink the x-axis to better see what's going on. Ha!
Interesting.
I wonder what's the size of the circle that fits in that. 4,600 miles seems close enough. What's so familiar about that number?
Interesting.
Well, thanks for the R, my friend.
A Mercator projector is basically a piece of paper rolled up like a cylinder and put around the world at the equator. The north and the south are stretched to fit the surface. So if you take 180 nautical miles between the divider at the equator and move it to 90 degrees north, you are only left with 90 nautical miles. Clear enough?
Only variant is how tall you are. Okay.
Massive thanks to everybody who made a submission for this 1 minute debunk. If you're thinking perhaps you would like to have a go, then keep an eye on the channel, remember to hit notify, and listen out for when I next do one. Well, Christmas is gone, New Year is just around the corner. Make sure that you all have a good one. As for me, I'm going to make like a shepherd and get the flock out of here.